fuck is up, you sexy beast? GhostSickness, Tristan here, and I'm currently vlogging right now. It's actually kind of weird because I am in the middle of a neighborhood walking down the street, and there are people who are going to be giving me weird looks because I was talking to myself earlier doing a test video. These two kids were like, "Duh, fuck." So either way, guys, I don't know how well you can see my face because, well, holding it out as far as I can, but this is 1080p, bitch. I'm beautiful. So I am back from my break. There's this guy walking down. I'm gonna get judged. But you wanna know what? I don't really care. So either way, guys, let's see if we can get the beauty of this place. I'm actually outside. Oh my God. Outside is like 1440p, dude. It's beautiful. There are people coming by, and this guy was here earlier. I think he's trying to find a house because he was looking at a paper. But the interesting thing is, guys, is that I am vlogging, and these people are turning around. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. It's kind of weirded me out. But yeah, I'm recording. So either way, guys, there's this guy looking at me. Ah, man, this is off to a very, very poor start. I wanted to talk about my break, tell you guys a story about that, kind of some things that happened. Hope this is tolerable for you guys. He lives there? He's going there? I don't fucking know. Oh no! Okay, maybe I'll go towards the end. But I'm kind of in the dark here. So, there's this guy. Boom. Hey lady. Hey my lady. Okay guys, sorry, I had a great break. I'm in some random neighborhood, but if you guys want to see more outside vlogs, sorry about the wind, it's kind of in my direction, and that's the thing. Maybe they think I'm trying to take a selfie. It doesn't really matter. They don't know. They don't need to know because I missed you guys. I missed you guys a lot, and I haven't talked about anything substantive about my break yet. Now, some of the things I did want to talk about are the fact that I'm back. That's pretty fucking cool, as well as the fact that, well, I went on a date over my break. It was quite interesting. I actually went on a date with one of my coworkers, and I think there's some goat screaming or something. I'm actually not in my neighborhood right now. I am in an adjacent neighborhood that resembles nothing of my neighborhood. They have a lot more land here. The little goat snugglers. Look at those guys. Look at those bastards. They're so adorable. So guys, anyway, yeah, I actually went on a date with one of my coworkers. I'm gonna talk about that. So I got her number in kind of the beginning of February-ish, and I was like, well, what we should do is we should actually, we should totally go out. But oh, I almost died. Look at, they're just so adorable. And I'm just like, hey, and look, oh, what's up, guy? Hey, oh, hey, girl. So I am very distracted at the moment, actually. Oh, look at, oh my God. Look at how snuggly they are. Hey, little guys. What the fuck is up? I know, it's GhostSickness, right? Don't bite off my fingers. I don't know how goats are. Oh, they're so snuggly. Oh, look at, ah! Goats! Or little snugglers, I don't know, sheep. I don't know the difference. Come here. Oh. Oh, come here. I think these are sheep. Come here. Oh, look at, they're just, is their mother? You guys are little snugglers. I'll see you later. I know I'm leaving. It's okay. Oh, look at, he's got bling. Oh, that's a, well, that was pretty interesting, I gotta say. I will be back there, guys. So, I went on a date with one of my coworkers, and she's recently my coworker, man. I'm talking a little bit, about 2 months, maybe. And she does not go to my school. She goes to a different school. But I was like, this girl's pretty hot. I kind of like her. I'm like, all right, well, here's what I'll do. I am going to fucking ask for her number. That's obviously step one. And so I was like, all right, well, I asked for her number. And then, oh, look at that car. Your car's beautiful. So I asked for her number, and come on, you're driving an Audi. Go fast. Go fast. Don't look at me like that. Don't look at me like that. You drive fast in a fucking Audi. That's what you're supposed to do. Okay. Oh, man, I'm having a good time. Oh, please come back. Come back. I know you're judging me. This is great. What the fuck is he doing? He's talking and vlogging. Oh, man. This is off to a great start. So, got my coworker's number, and I was like, boom. We should totally fuck, by the way. No, but I texted her and she was texting me a lot and it was cool. We were texting all day for like a week or so, or actually 4 days, from Sunday to Wednesday. And then on Wednesday I was like, well, let's get this chick's number. And what I'm I cannot tell stories outside, dude. There's just too much distractions. And so I was like, well, let's go on a date with this girl. And that was my plan, obviously, from the beginning. I was like, all right, well, I phoned her up on Wednesday after work at about 6 p.m. And I'm like, hey, so I'm going to coffee tomorrow at 4. Do you want to go with me? And so she's like, let me think about it. I'll text you tomorrow. She's like, well, who are you going with? And I'm like, well, let's see here. I am, like, you, presumably. She's like, okay. So I'll text you my answer. And it's like I was instantly worried. Like, the anxiety was there. The anxiety was real. And I didn't know what to do. Oh my God, let's go down this way. Because I'll just look beautiful and there's light and sun and it's very windy, but either way, this is a dead end. As you guys can see, So guys, anyway, she's like, you know, I don't know if I really want to go on a date. And I'm just like, oh, come on. And I didn't really say anything. I'm like, okay. I'll text you my answer. And then she continues texting me normally, like the conversation hadn't like changed or anything. And then I was a little bit like, can you go? She's like, I don't know. Winky face and stuff. I'm like, okay, well, bye, I gotta go. I'll text you tomorrow. And the next day at 3:30, we're supposed to meet up at 4. Well, that was the kind of date and time I proposed. And so she's just like, well, I can't. Sorry. Some other time though. And it's like, well, God fucking damn it, because I got so close. What I thought I got close. But I honestly felt like it was a rejection. I'm like, why is she texting me so goddamn much? Then what the fuck? And so I'm like, Well, we worked together a shift about 2 weeks after that. So it was kind of in March a little bit, the beginning of March. And she's like, you acted kind of weird. And yeah, I did, because I basically ignored her. I gave everyone more attention than her on purpose because I was kind of pissed. I was like, you know, why did you say no? At least give me the common decency of rejecting me and tell me why. So I texted her a little bit, clarified that. I'm like, look, I know we have there's no feelings between us, but because I'm very blunt, if you guys didn't know. Like, there's obviously no feelings between us, but why did you say no, basically? And so we talked about it and we resumed texting as normal, as before I originally asked her out. And then I was like, oh shit, man, maybe I have a shot. Maybe she's at least interested, but just couldn't. Because she explained that she was busy and I'm just like, maybe I'll buy it, but that depends. So I'm like, all right, well, we're texting a little bit and then we're being flirty, being cute. I'm like, you know, would I be the kind of guy you go out with? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, well, why? She's like, you're super sweet. And I'm just like, oh, stop. And actually, when I was texting her those things, I was actually on a similar walk, but I went that way instead because there's a main road and now I'm in a dead end road. And I want to see where this goes. But I continue texting her and, you know, I'm just like, hey, are you busy Thursday? She's like, ironically, a Thursday again, right? Maybe exactly 2 weeks later, 2-3 weeks. Not even sure. There's this little schnuggler. And I was like, well, are you busy? And she's like, well, like, are you free Thursday? Yeah, of course I'm free Thursday. And so she's like, why? And I'm just like, well, I was gonna take you to the movie. She's like, oh, cool, what movie? And so she likes horror. And I was like, all right, well, I legitimately looked for horror movies and could not find a single one or anything decent actually in theaters right now. So I'm like, well, fuck, what's your second favorite? She's like, comedy. And then I'm like, okay, well, there's some action movies, not really some comedies. And I don't fucking know why. March is just a bad month for movies or whatever. So that's probably why Titanfall was released. So it's like, okay, well, let's see this here. Let's see. I'm like, well, do you want to settle for action and rain check for horror? She's like, yeah, sure, that's completely fine. So we're texting, leading up to the date, getting super excited. I'm like, all right, well, I'll meet you out front. Asked her if she wanted me to pick her up. She's like, nah. My mom be like, no, she said her mom would take her. And so I'm like, all right, well, I accept that. That makes perfect sense. So I'm like, okay. So I meet her there. I go to Fort. Man, I can't even talk while walking, bro. It's just such distraction. Thank God in my room I just kind of like sit there and talk to a microphone. Don't really have anything distracting to look at. I'll go back to those goat snugglers later. Maybe I'll videotape that. Man, my stories are all over the place. So I get there around 4, and she texts me at like 3:50. She's like, "Are you there yet?" I'm just like, no. Like, I was like, "Are you there?" And she's like, "No." Okay. So I get there, and I'm just kind of like, "Oh man, I did myself up. Technically, I looked all right. I wore a cool T-shirt. Nothing. I didn't like wear a tux or anything. Man, I've never worn a tux. I want to wear a tux really bad." And so we're going. And I get there, and I'm waiting there, man. I'm waiting in the arcade, because that's where we plan to meet. There's a little arcade section of the movie theater, and we're just like chilling. Oh, god damn it. Why? I can't even story, dude. I can't even story right now. I'm waiting in the arcade, and I'm just like, oh, fuck. And, you know, movie theaters are weird, man. They just, you barely get any signal inside of them. So I'm like, all right, well, on Sprint anyway is what I'm with. And so I'm in the movie theater, in the arcade, just sitting there alone on my phone. Started playing Flappy Bird, you know, and because I have Ting needs 3G and presumably Wi-Fi in order to actually get a connection. Now, I don't know if I'm at the end of this road or not, but I'm just gonna continue. As you guys can see, the houses out here are pretty nice. Shit, the houses out here are actually really nice, but yeah, there are mansions and shit out here, but this is not where I live. That is the end of the road. Now we turn back and you can be like, boom. So I am just waiting there on my phone for like 5 minutes. I'm just like, oh God, no bars, nothing. I don't know if she'll text me if she's here. So I go outside and I sit, and it's really nice outside. The sun is glistening. I'm just sitting on, there are like restaurants right by the movie theater. It's kind of all one building essentially, but it's really, really weird. It's hard to explain, but I'm sitting there and I'm looking at my phone, checking my phone, making sure that, you know, she's texting me or stuff like that. And so texting her, not just kind of sitting there alone at this restaurant. Thank God nobody asked to like serve me anything, because they could tell I wasn't really interested in their food, but I didn't want to loiter for too long. I see her go by in a van with her mom. She comes by and I can see her in the, you know, front driver's seat, or the passenger seat, sorry. But I can see her in the front seat, and she's on her phone, and I'm just like, oh my God, she looks good. And I was pretty sure it was her the first time. Kind of started doubting it when I saw her. And I was like, well, is that really her? Because why didn't she just get out and, you know, right here? And so I'm just sitting at the table on my phone trying to play Flappy Bird. It's pretty bright. The screen was glaring and shit. And then, man, the story, man. Okay, so she comes back again. She goes right around, and I'm just like, hello, I'm right here. And, you know, I told her I was here, and I was outside and everything. So her mom kind of pulls back around, and then she gets out, and dude, she looks great. Like she's I think half Mexican. I'm not even sure, but she's not very like dark, but she's very, very pretty. So either way, dem eyes though. And oh man, I keep having to switch around. It's cold out here. Well, kinda, but it's like kinda windy at the same time. The sun makes up for it. The sunlight hurts my. Okay, so she gets out, and I see her. I'm like, hey girl, you look amazing, by the way. She's like, well, thank you. And so I'm like, all right, well, we got in line. There was no line because it was a Thursday, but we got in where the line would be, and we're, you know, kind of waiting to do our things and stuff and things. And so what happens is there's no one there. There's no one where you normally get your tickets. So we're like, so I start making jokes, and we go inside, and then we order, you know, our tickets and everything. We go get some food, and I was like, all right, well, what do you want? She just gets Sour Patch Kids, and I get those little crunch bite things that are super good. I think they're like cookie dough, but they're like crunch bite things, but oh, they're so good. Well, I'm speaking of two different products, but you know what I mean? I get those crunch bites, and they're just, oh. So I'm there with the crunch bites, and she's there with the Sour Patch Kids. Put them on the counter, and I order a small Sprite, no ice, and I'm like, okay, well, let's see about this here. And it was obviously expensive as fuck, but I was like, fuck it. I already paid for the tickets, of course, you know. I'm not going Dutch. I'm not gonna go Dutch, fuck that. And so we get that, you know, making jokes here and there. She's laughing and giggling, it's cool. And then we get into the actual movie theater, and we're sitting down. It's basically vacant, dude. There's a dozen people in this movie theater, and we're there to see Non-Stop, I think is what it is, with the guy from Taken. I'm drawing a blank here, but Liam Neeson. So we're there, and with Liam Neeson, of course, right? That's how that works. And to see Non-Stop. So we get to the top of the movie theater, asked her where she wanted to sit, and that's where she said. I'm like, oh my God, you're normal, thank God. So we sit right under the projector. Well, I sat right under the projector. She sat to my left, which was how I quote envisioned it. But anyway, that's just how it worked out. So we're sitting there and talking a lot, because, well, mainly I'm talking a lot. I'm not talking that much more than she is, because she's obviously responding to me. I'm not just blabbering into nothing like right now, as you guys can see. But I mean, look at that shit. Look at that fucking shit. They got like, oh man, and a basketball court. So anyway, we're talking, she's laughing and everything's good. And so she didn't put down the middle armrest, thank God, because that would have been a little bit weird later. I'll explain. We start watching the movie and then she eventually is kind of like, all right, well, I kind of want to focus on the movie. I'm just like, no, because I asked her what her ideal first date would be, and it'd be, you know, talk a lot and kind of get close with the person. And so I respected that, and I was like, all right, well, I will do that then. You can count on me to talk to you in the movie theater. And so we're just watching the movie, making jokes. I'm making jokes occasionally. I ended up bringing up my Sprite and shaking it because you could hear the ice, and I'm just like, because I ordered it no ice, man. Because, you know, I drink things slowly. Really depends on the thing, but yeah, I drink things slowly, and the ice would have actually melted. Still recording, thank God. Man, this is a long vlog. Anyway, the ice would have been like, oh man, the ice bro, that ice though would have melted and it would have made your drink taste bad. So talking, being cute and stuff, and I'm waiting to go for the hand, but she has her legs crossed, so I don't like that body stance, so I'll get into that in a second. But she has her legs crossed and she's just like sitting there and hands in her lap, and she ends up getting a few texts. I'm like, bitch, why didn't you turn off your phone? Like, I didn't say that, of course, I'm not that horrible of a person. I mean, I'm pretty bad, but you know, depends on the circumstance. But I was just kind of like, all right, well, I'll just ignore it because it's not that bad, right? And so watching the movie, it's 30-45 minutes, and I'm just waiting to go for the hand, man. I'm just like, man, when do I go for the shit? Because I want that hand though, and I want to make a move, but I don't want to move too fast, because that's what she didn't want, is for, you know, the guy, presumably, of course me, I mean, come on, to move too fast. And so I just went for the hand. I'm like, all right, well, this is cool. And it was funny because I hold out my hand and she's like, she's eating Sour Patch Kids. So she's like, well, Alright guys, I'm actually extremely sorry about that. My webcam, well, slash phone actually died. So, as I was going, I was in the middle of my story and there's like, and I'm like, angry. So guys, I'm actually going to continue right where I left off, and this is a way longer video than I intended, but fuck it, I know you guys love it, and there's going to be a second half to this story, so if you guys can get this video to 200 likes, then you guys will see that second half, and like, it'll be crazy, it'll be really, really crazy. I usually don't split up my stories, but I really want to get this to you guys today, and I'm actually going to get right into it. So I'm going to continue where I left off, and so I reach for her hand, right, and then I'm kind of like, you know, I put my hand out, and, because her hands were kind of in her lap and everything, and you know, she continued to eat her Sour Patch Kids, so I'm just kind of holding my hand there. And then she tries to, like, bring one into my hand, and I'm just like, no. I kind of pull my hand away, and she's like, well, do you want me to feed it to you? And I'm just like, no. I wanted to grab your hand. She's like, oh, I'm sorry about that. She sets him down, and I grab her hand, and I was joking about, like, I was telling her that she could still eat them, you know, using her left hand, and like she's got this and stuff like that. It was pretty funny. So I'm start holding her hand, and that's pretty cool because she's sitting to my left, and I'm just like, it's cool stuff. And we're watching the movie and still talking and laughing a little bit, but less than usual. We're making jokes about the movie and the plot line and how, like, you know, easy it is to predict and everything, and it was just overall a fun time. At this point though, she still has her legs kind of crossed, and she's just kind of sitting, you know, and I'm kind of inching more towards her a little bit, to the left of my seat. I'm just like, I mean, not that obvious, but, you know, slowly just. So, anyway, we continue doing that, and she's, you know, kind of keeping that, her posture, and just like, come on, man, like, give me some, and, like, not that way, but, you know, kind of, like, lean in towards me, come on, give me this one, and so I'm just like, alright, well, we continue doing that. Sorry, I said that, like, 4 times, but she gets a text from one of her friends, and her phone, like, it, like, flashes, like, I don't know, like, she has it so her iPhone can, like, flash the camera when, like, the LED on the camera whenever it goes off, and so that happens, and she's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. She's like, let's go to my hand, and she, like, goes, picks the phone up, and, like, texts her friend, and apparently it was something important, and, I'm just, like, not thinking much of it. I'm just like, okay, well, you know, I'm not on my phone, I didn't say anything, but I was just, like, sitting there, and then she puts it down, she's like, sorry, and then grabs my hand again. And so we do that, and we're watching the movie still, and she's, you know, texting her friend with her left hand periodically, and it's kind of just like, and she apologized. She was like, I'm sorry for that, it's just really important, or something like that. I'm just like, oh, come on, you know, unless she's suicidal, then I'm important, like, please. And so I'm just, you know, keeping my composure, just watching the movie, doing whatever Tristan does and stuff like that, and,
you know, she apologizes for it, and then just a little bit after that, I'm just like, well, let's go for the fucking arm around the shoulder. I'm not gonna do the, no, I just fucking, like, I let go of her hand, and then I did that, and, you know, she kind of came towards me, but not too much, like, not, like, snuggly or anything, but just, like, a little bit, like, here, I'll lean in just a little bit. I'm just kind of like, okay then. So we just like continue watching the movie. Things are good, not very awkward. Still making jokes about the plot line and everything, but I could tell that she wasn't, you know, planning on like leaning in or actually getting all cuddly up and stuff like that. And so the movie ends. It was actually a pretty short movie, about an hour and a half. And so we walk into the lobby and everything. We throw, actually no, we don't even throw our stuff away because we still have it. And I drank some of my pop, about half, maybe a little bit more than that. And we get out into the lobby, and I'm talking to her, and she's like, hey, so, you know, I'm like, hey, is your mom here? She's like, yeah, she's at, like, the Macy's over here. I'm just like, all right, well, do you want me to walk you there? And she's like, well, you don't have to if you don't want to. And it's like, oh, come on. Like, I'm like, all right, well, then I will. And so we go, and we're walking to Macy's and talking, and, you know, making jokes about the movie and everything, and just talking in general. It's going well, in my opinion. I didn't grab her hand during any of this, but we're just talking. And, you know, I told her the, like, the very, very shortened version of me being banned from that American Eagle store, because that's down there as well. And she laughed and everything. But yeah, so I drop her off. I give her to her mom. And then she texts me. So, boom. I'm going to end on a cliffhanger. But that is what happened. And we usually... like we did, well, not usually, I'll get into that, but we did the, you know, cute, like, hey, I was like, hey, text me. She's like, no, you text me first. I'm just like, no, you. And she's like, okay, fine. And so so she texted me when I was in my car a little bit after that. So I really hope you guys enjoy the story. I am back, motherfuckers. If you guys want any Ghost Sickness t-shirts that are linked in the description below, and they're so pretty, and I'll show them up here, and just they're actually pretty cheap as well, under $15. And yeah, I also have a music channel, guys. I just wanted to get this out there. I'm sorry this is such a long video, but if you made it to this part of the video, comment V-log. I spell it vlog, but you can comment V-log. And if you guys want to see more of these, more outdoors and stuff, hopefully they actually work next time. I'll have a fully charged phone. That didn't, we wanted it to. Have a great day, and remember the fact that I love you, and I'm back, motherfuckers.